Turning to a major decision by the Supreme Court, the justices, by a vote of 6-3, ruled that states can block Medicaid funding to Planned Parenthood, even for services like cancer screenings or birth control. South Carolina led the fight, saying taxpayer money should not go to the nation's largest abortion provider. The decision could have big implications for other states. For more, let's bring in Gabriella McIntyre, legal counsel for Alliance Defending Freedom's Center for Life. Gabriella, welcome to you. So let's start with the ruling itself. What exactly did the Supreme Court decide today? And as stated, it's a case that was brought by the state of South Carolina. So why is this so significant?
Yeah, that's right. This case is very significant. It really is a landmark decision by the U.S. Supreme Court that affirms this very simple but vital principle, and that's that states get to decide who qualifies for Medicaid funding without being brought into federal court. So the question before the court in this case was, is there in the Medicaid statute clear and unambiguous rights-creating language that gives an individual the right to go to federal court to challenge the disqualification of a Medicaid provider from the state's Medicaid program? The answer to that question is no. And essentially what this means in practical terms is that the states are now free, not just South Carolina, but any state that wishes to do so is free to disqualify and defund Planned Parenthood and other abortion providers from its Medicaid funding.
So states now have the options. They now have that freedom. But Planned Parenthood is pushing back, saying that this will hurt low-income women who rely on its services for other health care like birth control and cancer screenings. How do you respond to that?
Well, just take the state of South Carolina, for example. There are nearly 200 other clinics in the state that provide comprehensive, real health care to women, things that include reproductive and family planning services, cancer screenings, things of that nature that are more comprehensive. The services that Planned Parenthood provides in the state in particular are mostly focused on abortion services and also on these dangerous gender transition drugs that they're even giving, admittedly, in the state of South Carolina to minors.
As you stated earlier, it looks like this opens the door for more states to cut off funding for Planned Parenthood. Do you think that this will speed up those efforts to defund Planned Parenthood nationwide?
I certainly hope so. States should be free to defund and redirect their taxpayer dollars that Americans by majority do not want going toward funding abortions, to other comprehensive, real, life-affirming care in their states. And this will give them the ability to do so.
What kind of legal or political pushback do you expect to see in response to the ruling, and how likely do you think that this will hold up long term?
Well, we're very confident, especially now that the High Court has weighed in. It remains to be seen what the states do now in response to this, but absolutely they have the ability and the freedom now in each of these individual states, particularly states with pro-life laws on the books that prohibit taxpayer funds to going towards abortions, to be able to direct those taxpayer funds to what they believe is high quality and comprehensive health care.
Gabriella, in the few seconds we have left, I should have asked you this earlier, but was this the ruling that you expected?
It certainly was the ruling that we hoped and prayed for, but given the merits of the case and the way that the case was argued, we were very confident that this would be the result.
All right, Gabriella McIntyre with Alliance Defending Freedom. We really appreciate you being with us on this very busy news day. Thank you so much for your time and your insights.
Thanks for having me.